Welcome to DECA's High School Division Competitive Events Update for 2017-2018. I'm Christopher Young, High School Division Director at DECA. And during this on-demand webinar, we will discuss the updates to DECA's Competitive Events program, as well as this year's topics and available resources. Let's begin. One of the biggest updates is the introduction of our new Entrepreneurship Team Decision-Making and Entrepreneurship Individual Series events. In the guide, we define entrepreneurship as the ability to recognize opportunities and to act on them, to determine needs, to identify markets, to utilize marketing research, to identify sources of capital, and to use management skills. These new entrepreneurship events will follow the same format as their respective event categories. They'll also use the Entrepreneurship Performance Indicator list, and students will take a new entrepreneurship exam. That performance indicator list, a sample 100-question exam with key, sample team decision-making case study, and sample individual series role-play are all available at deca.org/competitive-events and decadirect.org. It's important to note that while DECA's Competitive Events program has previously mostly used the curriculum planning levels of prerequisite, career-sustaining, and specialist, DECA's new entrepreneurship events will now use supervisor, manager, and owner curriculum planning levels. One of the other big changes for this year is around the Virtual Business Challenge. This year, teams will have access to almost all the full simulation capabilities during the competition rounds versus select simulation actions in previous year's competitions. In addition, this year's VBC will introduce shorter online qualifying rounds. Each VBC online qualifying round this year will be 11 days in length. In addition, the Virtual Business Challenge Accounting has many challenges during each qualifying round. The first round begins October 24th and ends November 3rd. The second round begins January 9th and ends January 19th. Be sure to visit deca.org/competitive-events and knowledgematters.com for all of the latest around the Virtual Business Challenge new format. We will also introduce the Virtual Business Challenge Fashion event this year. In this event, participants will scour runway and street blogs for emerging and viral fashion trends. They'll manage marketing, business, and fashion-specific concepts such as design, buying, pricing, and markdowns, social media promotion, window display, and merchandising within their own fashion design business. Participants will also interpret actions, charts, and reports such as an income statement and the InstaTrend report in order to make strategic marketing decisions for their fashion business to optimize profitability. The Virtual Business Challenge Fashion will be operated in alignment with the other VBCs, and there will be up to 16 teams competing at ICDC. We have a few other updates for this year. One of those is that the Startup Business Plan, which allows for a 30-page paper, can now be comprised of 1 to 3 members of the DECA chapter. As you begin working on your written events, it's very important to notice that there are some changes within the evaluation forms. The evaluation forms for all competitive events with a written entry now have more points allocated towards the executive summary on the written evaluation. The evaluation forms for the presentation portion of chapter team events has been updated, and the evaluation forms for the marketing representative events, which include advertising campaign, fashion merchandising promotion plan, and sports and entertainment promotion plan, have all been revised. So please double check the evaluation forms and double check the event guidelines and outlines as you begin working on your written events this year. Speaking of written events, let's talk about the topics that are in place for 2017 and 2018, beginning with the Business Operations Research event. For each of the career categories within the Business Operations Research event, participants are challenged to develop or enhance a customer, experience management strategy and collaborate with a local business or organization to analyze current customer experience management strategies. The customer experience is a big factor for companies and organizations this day, and so we feel it's extremely relevant and important to bring that to our DECA members' mind as they are working for their business operations research events this year. The financial consulting event focuses around retirement plans. The college graduate would like you, the student, to make recommendations that will have the most positive financial impact. The college graduate is interested in how much to save, retirement plans available, and how long to save. In the hospitality and tourism professional selling event, it's focused on creative catering options. It's a big trend in the industry, and a client is holding a 3-day conference for 750 attendees at a hotel and is meeting with the student participant to determine unique and creative catering options. Each conference attendee's registration includes 2 breaks, a seated dinner, a reception, and 2 lunches during the 3-day conference. So the student's being asked to put together some creative catering options for the attendees at this conference. The professional selling event is utilizing virtual reality and the human resources function. So the judge, the human resource director, wants to use virtual reality technology to create a training experience for the company's employees. The HR director wants to learn how the student's firm's products will be beneficial to training the company's employees. For each of these topics, we are compiling a list of resources at decadirect.org of industry-related trends and articles so that you can use these with your students as they're preparing for these events and as supplemental content for instruction. That's it for all of the updates for this year. It's a pretty good year for us. We are very excited about the new entrepreneurship events, the change in format for the Virtual Business Challenge, and then updating the evaluation forms for many of the written events. I do want to share with you a few of the resources that we do have available for you and your DECA members this year around competitive events. The first one being our exam blueprint. This handout is now available at deca.org/competitive events, and it shows the breakdown by exam, by level, district, association, and ICDC of the number of items for each instructional area. So as your students begin to look at performance indicator lists and begin to prepare for the DECA exam, they can focus their studies around these specific instructional areas based on the number of test items per instructional area. It's a great resource to print out, put on tabloid paper, make a poster of it, and put it in your classroom. For the past couple years, we've also had sample videos available at the deca.org website. So deca.org/competitive events, there's a link there that says sample videos. And these are really great resources because we've done them by event type. We've included the guidelines for each of the events, the scenario that the student was posed with, and then the video of the student interacting with the judge. For one of the events, we have 2 different students responding to the same scenario. So that's a great opportunity if you want your DECA members to be the judge. They can see that, and we'll continue to update and provide more sample videos as we can take them at ICDC and other functions. decadirect.org/compete has a ton of resources for competitive events. These are authored by the DECA staff. They're written by fellow competitors and members. There's just a lot of great information out there. And this is a screenshot of the article I was talking about with the topics. These are different links that we're making available and compiling, and we'll continue to update it throughout the year for the business operations research events, professional selling and consulting, to provide you with some industry content and some background around each of those topics. And finally, shopdeca.org is another great resource for competitive events preparation materials. There are many different titles organized by event and career cluster that can definitely add to your students' competition preparation. So be sure to visit shopdeca.org. You can look under competitive events resources, but there are a ton of resources out there, including new titles using last year's exams from the association and ICDC level, as well as case studies and role plays from each of those levels. So we continue to update the products that are available and resources as well. If you have any questions this year around DECA's high school competitive events program, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is christopher_young@deca.org, and we will make sure that you get the answers that you need so that you and your students can have a successful, rewarding, and meaningful experience in DECA's competitive events program. Best of luck as your students begin their competition and hopes of making it on stage at the International Career Development Conference in April 2018 in Atlanta. We hope to see you there, and most importantly, hope that your students become engaged, meaningful, thoughtful learners through DECA's competitive events program. Thank you so much, and again, feel free to reach out with any questions.